Hey guys, thought I'd give you a quick look at the new TWS-Auto implementation of the F-14 Tomcat by Heapler. This is just to show you some ins and outs and some ideas and concepts. This doesn't go over everything. This doesn't go over when and where and why to use it. I just kind of wanted to give you a quick preview of what you can expect and some of the limitations and things that you should take into account when you're using TWS-Auto in the Tomcat. Okay, so now that we're in the back seat here, we're going to go ahead and switch over to TWS manual. We're going to switch over to 200 nautical mile range. And first we'll start picking up some targets here. There's one, there's two, there's three, should be good enough. So now we'll go ahead and go to TWS-Auto. What Auto is going to do, go ahead and pause it here, is Auto is going to generate this steering centroid, and this is to tell a pilot which direction to go to keep everything that we're trying to illuminate within the gimbal limits. And basically a centroid is the center of mass of a geometric object, and that object being these 3 points for right now. Could be more, could be less. And also taken into account 3D space, so up and down and left and right. Now the other centroid we're not seeing here is the illumination centroid, and what that does is it's looking at all the tracks that we have on scope, and it's going to determine whether it needs to be in a 2-bar 20-degree search or 4-bar 20-degree search. And so if we continue on here, now all of this takes into account a few things. The illumination centroid is going to take into account launch zones, whether you have a missile on a target, mandatory targets, do not attack targets, friendly and hostile targets. It's basically going to take all those into account and try to determine the best scan volume, and then your steering is to keep the scan volume painting the targets we want to target. Now, to kind of show exactly what I mean is if we take this target here, okay, we come over to the cap and we switch over to target data, and we click on do not attack. Okay, now you can see that it's now basically a track that we don't care about, and it has moved its steering point over to the right of this target. It used to be to the left a little bit, and now it's in the center of these three. So that's kind of a neat little thing. If I come back over here, we unpause, and I say mandatory attack, we give it a minute, it's going to recalculate, and you can see that the steering centroid is trying to shift back over. I think we have to pick up that track again. I think we lost it because it was just out of view. You gotta remember, this isn't instantaneous. It's doing these calculations at a specific rate. So let's do mandatory again. And you can see the steering centroid's coming over a little bit. And if this starts to go out of range, I would expect we would see this flip over to 40 degree and 2-bar. Let's go ahead and see if that happens. Jump in the pilot seat here. Oh, there it goes right away. Already did it for us. And back. Jester's screwing things up for us. This is why it's important to play with a real person. So let's flip over to him again, and we'll do mandatory attack. And you can see again, there's the steering centroid moving over towards that target to keep him illuminated more so than these two, or at least let the pilot know that he needs to turn to this point. If we flip back over, you won't see it in air-to-air mode, so you need to be in air-to-air mode, and you won't see it on the HUD, and you won't see it on the VDI unless your master arm is on, and you have Sparrows or Phoenixes. And you can see here, there's that upside down T telling us where to go. And there we go. Should be right about on it, and come a little bit right. You can kind of see the correlation. You can also see it down here on the VDI. It's in both places. Pretty damn cool. And it does a pretty good job keeping everything inside the gimbal limits, but if you do pull too fast, you can see it doesn't keep up, and you can actually lose a track. See, we just lost that very far left one, and now if I come back, it's going to flip over to 40 degree 2 bar, and then back to 4 bar 20 degrees, and flip back and forth to try to figure out which one is best. So we'll go ahead and launch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see in the middle of that it's flipping to 20 degree, and then it went back to 40. I'm guessing that's part of the illumination weighting for this illumination centroid, and what it's trying to do is make sure that that next target I'm going to shoot on gets illuminated and doesn't leave our field of view. You can see it's going back and forth and back and forth. If I pull too hard here, you see it flips back over to 40 degree. Try to keep them in view and illuminated. Come back over here again. You can see it really tries to keep up, but it is not super quick because, you know, we're dealing with old tech here. What do you expect? Anyway, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you guys. Just a little sneak peek. Again, this isn't a tutorial on how to use it best, but yeah, just keeping it simple. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.